Heavenly Father, I come before you today, seeking your divine presence in every step of my journey. I feel the weight of the world around me, but I know that nothing is too big for you. I ask that you guide my heart, my mind, and every action I take today. Let your peace fill my soul, your strength sustain me, and your wisdom guide me through this day. Lord, I trust in you completely, because I know that you are with me every step of the way. In life, there are days when the weight of doubt and fear threatens to consume us. We face challenges both seen and unseen that can overwhelm even the strongest hearts. But what if, in the midst of this chaos, there was a refuge, a place of peace, strength, and unwavering love? That place exists, and it's found in God's presence. Every day, we can choose to walk in His peace and protection, no matter the circumstances, trusting God's plan. When we face uncertainty, it's easy to let fear creep in. We worry about the future, the unknown, and the challenges ahead. But what if we took a moment to remind ourselves that God is already at work? He's gone before us, preparing a way, even when we can't see it. The key is trust. Trusting that His plans are always for our good. Trusting that His love for us never falters, and His promises never fail. Personal story. I remember a time when I faced a major decision in my life. I didn't know what to do, and fear almost paralyzed me. But then I stopped, and I asked myself, what if I trusted God? What if I believed that He was working in the background, orchestrating everything for my good moment? And in that moment, peace washed over me. I knew that I wasn't alone, and that knowledge changed everything. In moments of uncertainty, it's easy to feel lost, unsure of the next step to take. We question ourselves. We question our decisions, and sometimes we even question God. But what if we stopped trying to control every situation and instead trusted the plan? He has for us. God's plan is not always visible to us in the moment. Often we only see pieces of the puzzle, and it feels like the picture is incomplete. Yet if we take a step back and trust in His sovereignty, we begin to see that He has been at work all along, making a way even when we couldn't understand it. The very things that we perceive as roadblocks may in fact be divine setups for something greater. Consider the story of Joseph in the Bible. He was sold into slavery by his brothers, wrongfully imprisoned and abandoned. Yet all those events led him to a place of prominence where he could save nations from famine. At each stage, Joseph couldn't see how the pieces fit together, but he trusted in God's timing. And when the right time came, God revealed His plan in full. This same trust is what we are called to have. Trusting God means releasing control and choosing to believe that He knows what's best for us, even when we don't see the whole picture. It's about believing that even in the waiting, He is working on our behalf. When you face difficulties, remember that nothing is ever wasted in God's kingdom. Every challenge, every obstacle, every setback is a part of His perfect design. You are not alone in your journey. Trust that God is already working things out for your good, and step forward with confidence, knowing that His plan is unfolding exactly as it should. God's protection. In the chaos of life, it's easy to forget that we are under God's protection. We may not always see it, but God is constantly watching over us, keeping us safe from harm. Psalm 91 tells us that, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." This isn't just a verse, it's a promise. A promise that no matter what dangers come our way, God is our refuge and fortress. Personal story. There was a time when I was in a dangerous situation far from home, and I felt fear creeping in. But then I remembered God's promise, and just like that, peace settled in my heart. I knew that He was with me, and no harm would come my way without His permission. And true enough, His protection was evident in that moment, as everything turned out fine. In a world filled with uncertainty and danger, it's easy to feel vulnerable. We face threats, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual, that can shake our sense of safety. Yet one of the most comforting truths we can hold on to is this: God is our protector. The Bible is filled with reminders of God's divine protection. Psalm 91 assures us that he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. This is not just a comforting phrase, it's a powerful promise. It tells us that when we seek refuge in God, He shields us with His presence, keeping us safe from harm. In the storms of life, He is our refuge and fortress. But God's protection isn't just about keeping us physically safe. His protection also extends to our hearts and minds. When fear tries to take root, when anxiety begins to overwhelm us, we can take comfort in knowing that God guards our inner peace. He is a constant presence guarding us from emotional and spiritual harm, lifting us up when we feel weak and fighting battles on our behalf that we cannot see. Think of the Israelites in the wilderness. Despite wandering in a harsh and unforgiving desert, God protected them with a pillar of cloud by day and fire by night. He was always with them, providing direction, comfort, and safety. And just like He protected the Israelites, He watches over us today. When life feels uncertain and danger seems to lurk around every corner, we can take refuge in the truth that God is watching over us. His protection is not limited to certain situations. It encompasses every aspect of our lives. No matter where we are or what we face, His divine covering surrounds us. All we need to do is trust and rest in His safety, walking in faith. Walking in faith doesn't mean we won't face challenges. It means that even in the midst of challenges, we trust that God will carry us through. Faith is not about having all the answers. It's about taking that first step, knowing that God is with us. When we walk by faith, we open ourselves up to His guidance and His strength. Even when the road seems difficult, His presence makes the journey worth it. Personal story. I've had moments when everything seemed impossible. But when I took that leap of faith, trusting in God's timing, the doors opened that I never expected. I realized that faith isn't about having all the answers. It's about trusting the one who holds the answers. And in that trust, we find peace. Walking in faith is not about having all the answers. It's about taking one step forward when you can't see the full path ahead. It's trusting in God's plan, even when the road is unclear and the journey feels uncertain. Faith isn't a one-time decision, but a daily commitment to trust, obey, and believe that God is leading us step by step. Consider Abraham, who was called by God to leave his home not knowing where he was going or what the future held. God didn't provide a detailed map or a timeline. He simply said, "Go." And Abraham trusted. He didn't know exactly where he was headed, but he knew the one who was leading him. That's the essence of walking in faith. It's about knowing that even in the unknown, God is with us, guiding us, and working things out for our good. Walking in faith means we must let go of control. We live in a world where we're taught to rely on our own understanding to make sure everything is planned out and certain. But God calls us to trust Him with the unknowns of our lives. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths." When we walk in faith, we are not promised an easy journey. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But those challenges are not there to break us. They are opportunities for us to grow and strengthen our trust in God. With every step we take in faith, we learn more about his faithfulness. We see how he provides, protects, and guides us even when the path ahead seems uncertain. Faith is a journey of continual surrender, surrendering our plans, our doubts, and our fears to the one who is always in control. Each step of faith draws us closer to the heart of God, and with every step we learn to trust him more deeply. Divine healing and peace. One of the greatest gifts that God offers us is peace. Not a peace that the world gives, but a peace that surpasses all understanding. In the midst of turmoil, when everything around us is shaking, his peace remains. And it's not just peace from the outside world. It's a peace that heals our hearts, minds, and spirits. It's a peace that guards our hearts and minds, keeping us steady no matter the storm. Personal story. When I was struggling with anxiety and fear, I turned to prayer. And in that moment, I felt God's peace. It wasn't instant relief from my circumstances, but it was an inner calm that helped me navigate those challenges with a new perspective. That peace changed everything. In the chaos of life, peace often feels like a distant dream, something we long for, but can't quite grasp. We experience moments of stress loss or physical pain that threaten to overwhelm us. But in the midst of our struggles, there is a profound truth. God offers a peace that transcends all understanding, a peace that can heal our hearts and calm our minds. Divine peace isn't just the absence of turmoil. It's a deep inner calm that comes from knowing that God is in control. It's the reassurance that no matter what we face, he is with us, and his presence brings comfort. Jesus said, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." John 14:27. This peace is not the peace that the world offers, a fleeting sense of calm that disappears when the storm comes. No, the peace of God is enduring, unshakable, and available to us at all times. For those who are facing physical pain, emotional wounds, or spiritual turmoil, God's healing peace is a balm for the soul. Healing doesn't always happen instantly, but God's peace can provide comfort and strength while we walk through the process of healing. Sometimes his healing is an inner transformation, a restoration of hope and joy that was lost. Other times, it's physical, as he moves in ways we may not expect, bringing miraculous restoration to our bodies. Think about the story of the woman who had been suffering from a bleeding disorder for 12 years. She touched the hem of Jesus' garment, and immediately she was healed. Her faith and trust in Jesus brought her healing. Similarly, when we reach out to God in faith, his healing power can flow into our lives, restoring peace where there once was pain. This peace doesn't just change our circumstances, it changes us. It anchors our hearts in the truth that no matter what we face, we are safe in God's loving arms. His peace heals us both inside and out, and it enables us to walk through life with strength, courage, and unshakable hope. The power of prayer and community. One of the most powerful ways to invite God's peace into our lives is through prayer. Prayer is not just about asking for things, it's about aligning our hearts with God's will. It's about surrendering our fears and anxieties to Him and trusting that He will take care of them. But prayer is also about community. We are not meant to walk this journey alone. When we pray together, we strengthen one another in faith, reminding each other of God's promises. Personal story. I remember a time when I felt completely overwhelmed, and I reached out to my friends for prayer. Their words of faith lifted my spirit, and together we believed that God would move in our situation. And He did. Prayer changes everything. It brings peace, it brings hope, and it reminds us that we are never alone. There is something profoundly powerful about coming together in prayer. Prayer is not just a personal act. It's a communal bond that unites us with others and with God. In moments of struggle, joy, or uncertainty, prayer becomes a way to lift each other up, seek God's guidance, and experience His presence in ways that go beyond our individual experiences. The Bible tells us that where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I with them. Matthew 18:20. This promise speaks to the incredible power of community prayer. It's a reminder that we are not meant to face life's challenges alone. When we gather with others, whether in small groups or larger congregations, we create an environment where God's power can move in mighty ways. Through shared prayer, we encourage one another, strengthen each other's faith, and experience the unity that comes from being in God's presence together. In times of hardship, prayer becomes our lifeline. It allows us to invite God into our struggles and fears, knowing that He listens and cares deeply for us. But more than that, prayer connects us with the community of believers who are there to stand in the gap with us, praying for our needs and offering support. This bond of prayer creates a powerful network of spiritual strength where each person's faith adds to the strength of the whole. Consider the early church in Acts. They were known for their devotion to prayer and their unity in spirit. In moments of persecution, their prayers were not just for themselves, but for one another. And God responded, filling them with courage, power, and peace. In our own lives, prayer creates a space where God's love, strength, and peace flow not only into us, but through us to others. It's a beautiful reminder that we are never alone, and the power of prayer shared in community can change the world. Whether we are praying for healing guidance or strength, we can trust that God moves powerfully when His people come together in faith, trusting God's peace. As we close today's reflection, I encourage you to take a moment and surrender your fears, your anxieties, and your worries to God. Trust that He is already working in your life, preparing a way for you. Lean on His peace, His protection, and His love. Let His presence be the anchor in your life, and remember that no matter what comes your way, you are always held in His hands. Yapro Personal Story. Whenever life feels overwhelming, I return to this truth: I am safe in God's hands. His peace is a constant reminder that no matter what, He is in control. And with that peace, I can face anything,